Hello and welcome to Arnie's Short Stories. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Missing Manuscript. Holly Arnold was sipping her morning coffee when the phone jolted her from her thoughts. The caller ID flashed Wexler Publishing, and her pulse quickened. She was a private detective, yes, but at 24, still carving her name into the world of mysteries, a world she adored through the pages of Jonathan Wexler's novels. His intricate plots had fueled her passion for deduction, and now his publisher was calling her. "Ms. Arnold, this is Margaret Lane from Wexler Publishing. I have terrible news. Jonathan Wexler was found dead this morning. His unpublished manuscript is missing. We need your help to recover it." Holly set her mug down. Dead. Missing manuscript? It sounded like a premise ripped from Wexler's own imagination. "I'll take the case," she said. "What can you tell me?" "The police are handling the murder," Margaret replied, "but their focus isn't the manuscript. It's invaluable handwritten. His latest work. He was secretive about it. Do we need it back? Give me access to the crime scene and any details you have," Holly instructed. "I'm on my way. Everything will be arranged. Please hurry to his residence." Hanging up. This wasn't just a job, it was personal. Wexler's books had taught her to see beyond the obvious, to unravel the tangled threads of human deceit. Now she'd step into a real mystery, one worthy of his pen. The scene of the crime. Wexler's Victorian mansion loomed through the morning mist, its gabled roof piercing the sky like a storybook illustration. Trees cloaked the estate in shadow, amplifying its isolation. Detective Harris, a grizzled man with a skeptic's frown, met her at the door. A private eye, and young. "Why are you 25?" he asked. At 24, Holly corrected. "Experience isn't just years, detective. I've solved cases." "Don't mess up my scene. Studies that way." Chaos reigned. Books toppled from shelves, papers strewn across the hardwood, a chair overturned. The chalk outline of Wexler's body marked the floor near his desk, where a bronze raven bookend lay askew, likely the murder weapon, she mused. The air smelled of old paper and faint copper. Holly's gaze swept the desk. A fountain pen rested beside an empty inkwell, blank sheets scattered nearby. No manuscript. Then a small note caught her eye, tucked under a paperweight. Scrawled in a hurried hand were the words, "The key lies in the second act." It wasn't Wexler's usual elegant script. She'd seen his autograph in her collection. Frowning, she slipped it into her pocket. She knelt, inspecting the desk's underside. Her fingers brushed a hidden catch, and a drawer sprang open. Inside lay an early draft of the manuscript, a thick stack of handwritten pages. Incomplete, but a start. She tucked it under her arm, a treasure for later scrutiny. The butler, Mr. Jenkins, hovered nearby, wringing his hands. Mr. Wexler was a good man." "They who do this?" Holly asked. "Visitors, odd behavior. He'd been getting fan letters. They seemed troubled by them." "Where are they?" "Bedroom. Maybe. He kept them private." She nodded. Next, she tracked down Margaret Lane, who'd arrived at the scene, her face pale beneath her polished exterior. Jonathan was onto something different. Not his typical mystery. He was researching a cold case, the murder of Emily Dawson, 20 years back. Said he'd found new evidence. "What evidence?" "He wouldn't tell me. Just that he'd interviewed people tied to it. Names." Margaret handed her a list. "Robert Dawson, Emily's husband. Susan Clark, Emily's sister. Michael Trent, a friend." Holly pocketed it. The game was afoot. Digging into the past. Robert Dawson's penthouse gleamed with modern wealth, a stark contrast to Wexler's Gothic retreat. The businessman greeted her with practiced calm, though his eyes flickered to a wedding photo on the mantel, him and Emily, frozen in happier times. "Wexler's dead," he said. "I spoke to him last week. He asked about Emily. What did he want to know? If I thought her death was more than an accident, I told him I was cleared. The case closed. Someone might have disagreed. Anyone threatened by his book?" He shrugged. "It could be Susan Clark, Emily's sister." A librarian, she met Holly in a quiet corner of the stacks, her demeanor soft but guarded. She toyed with a silver locket as they spoke. "Emily's death was years ago," Susan said. An accident, Wexler thought murder. Did he ask you anything specific? If I recalled that night, I was out of town. I told him. Holly noted the locket. A nervous stick. Michael Trent, a lawyer with a brass edge, barely hid his irritation. Wexler was stirring up old pain. Emily killed herself. He had no business digging. The police never ruled suicide. Whatever. He waved her off. Finally, Laura Simmons, frail in her nursing home chair, squinted at Holly through thick glasses. I told Mr. Wexler I saw someone leaving the Dawson house that night. Couldn't say who. Did you tell the cops then? Yes, but they brushed it off. Holly thanked her. Each had a reason to fear Wexler's revelations. But who acted? The manuscript's secrets. Back at her cramped office, Holly pored over the draft manuscript, Shadows of the Past. It mirrored Emily's case, a detective unearthing a decades-old killing. One character, Clara, stood out. Described as the murderer, she wore a silver locket, a family heirloom, and killed her sister out of jealousy. Holly's breath caught. Susan Clark had that locket. Was Wexler pointing a finger? In the story, Clara's guilt hinged on a hidden letter in her locket. Fiction, sure, but Wexler loved weaving truth into his tales. Holly flipped the note from the crime scene. The key lies in the second act. In his novels, the second act often unveiled a twist. She scanned the draft's second section. There, the detective found the locket's secret and note naming the killer. Did Susan's locket hold something real? Holly dug into Susan's alibi from Emily's death. Susan claimed she'd been visiting a friend out of town. A quick call to that friend revealed Susan had left early time enough to return home that night. The alibi crumbled. Still, she needed proof tying Susan to Wexler's murder. The forged note nagged at her. She compared it to Wexler's handwriting from her signed books. The slant was off, the loops too tight. An act was misspelled as a slip Wexler, a wordsmith, wouldn't make. Someone else wrote it, staging a clue to mislead. The trap. Holly devised a plan. She called Susan. MS. Clark, I found something in Wexler's notes about a locket. Can we meet? Cafe on 5th an hour. What about it? It's tied to Emily. I'll explain there. At the cafe, Holly laid out a fake document. Wexler claimed the locket has a compartment with a note implicating someone in Emily's death. That's nonsense. It's just a keepsake. Let me see it, Holly said. Susan hesitated, then handed it over. Holly's fingers found a seam, popped it open. A tiny paper slipped out. Susan lunged, but Holly pulled back, unfolding it. In faded ink, Emily's handwriting screamed, "If anything happens to me, it was Susan. She's always hated me." Susan froze. I didn't mean to. We fought. She fell. I covered it up. Then Wexler, he figured it out, came to me that night. I panicked. Hit him with that damn bookend. Took the manuscript to burn it. Holly nodded to Detective Harris. He moved in, cuffs ready. Susan Clark, you're under arrest. At the station, Holly handed over the draft and laid out her case, the locket, the forged note, Susan's confession. Harris scratched his head. Damn fine work, Arnold. You've got a knack. Thanks, she said. Wexler left the clues. I just followed them. Later, they found the manuscript in Susan's attic unburned. As Holly walked into the night, she thought of that note. The key lies in the second act. Wexler had scripted his own justice, and she'd penned the final line. Her name would be known now, not just as a detective, but as the one who finished the missing manuscript. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had or have a great day.